Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And my name is Neon. And we're going to talk about a lot of really cool things coming up and a lot of things we're just not looking forward to. So it's going to be a long...
Give you a guess.
It's going to be a long night. So we're going to be positive. We're going to try to be positive for a change. And we're going to talk about something...
For a change.
We're going to talk
positive for a change.
We're going to talk about something we're really looking forward to, and that is the Dragon Prince, which is going to be on Netflix.
Yes.
We've seen the trailer for the Dragon Prince. It just dropped a couple of days ago, and it looks freaking awesome.
It does.
Say more, Geeky.
I don't know
How
what to say.
excited are you for the show?
I'm very excited for the show.
I am really excited for the show.
Hello, everybody.
Now,
I'm very excited. I love it. Look at the art style. I mean, I get that it's simplified because they're trying to, animate it. But I like the little blush in the cheeks and everything else. It looks cute. And that egg's pretty.
Yeah, the Dragon Prince.
And look, there's a girl involved.
There's a girl involved. Yeah, it looks a lot of fun. I mean, we have one of the show runners, one of the main writers of Avatar, the original Avatar series, working on this, and watching the trailer. Like,
well, you can tell it's very Avatar.
You definitely get that Avatar feeling. Maybe not so much in the animation style because they are using CG, they're using cell shading, but just the characters, the way the characters interact with each other, some of the humor, the fact they have a mostly young cast.
You definitely can feel it in the trailer.
Yeah, it looks.
You should put a link in the
really good.
Link that in there.
If you haven't seen Dragon Prince yet, this is.
No, you didn't miss anything yet.
I'm
ranting
started.
at the end. Just
we're ranting at the end. We're actually starting with the good things first.
We have some many things to say at the end. Anyway,
but Dragon Prince. When does this drop? This is in
the
September.
14th.
The 14th. So
I think
we're totally gonna binge this show.
Oh yeah, heck yeah!
I'm super excited about it. I know some people have had some nitpicks about the animation style because it is a little herky-jerky because of. The fact that they're trying to it's cell shaded CG, but they're trying to make it look like hand drawn animation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're kind of doing like what they did with the Spider-Man, the Miles Morales movie they're coming out with, where they sort of like skip every other frame or something. I'm not sure what the technique is called, but I'm freaking excited about this. I mean, Avatar.
We're gonna mention that in a minute, guys.
Oh God!
Wait, let's finish this, and then we'll
get
talk about
the
the other Netflix show.
So we're trying to be positive because Netflix, for the most part, when it comes to animated series, they kick all kinds of ass.
Yeah, like How to Train Your Dragon was good and all those. Like, I guess I didn't see Troll Hunters, but everybody says it's pretty good. But this looks really good, and it just when you watch a trailer, you definitely get the Avatar feel.
Yeah.
Like the dynamics and everything else. It looks really great. I just think it's funny because I remember when they had the original teaser, and it was a Dragon Prince, and all these women were like, "Well, it's the Dragon Prince, and it's all about men." And I remember one person.
Oh my God, I remember that.
And one person said, "Well, actually, the one character looks like a girl by the shape of her body."
Look at all these women in this trailer.
It is the girl.
This kid, he's cute.
The elf is a woman.
Well, that's not us.
So, what did you do? What is
I hit the wrong tab.
It's like Inception.
It was. It was like, oh my God. It was like the Bonzo bean can, which is a reference most people will not get. If you get the Bonzo bean reference, please. Or dog food, Bonzo dog food.
I don't know what you're talking about,
yeah,
but
nobody
okay.
Does. Nobody does.
Yeah, I'm with you. As long as the story is good, I think even with like a lot of comics and like art and web comics and things, people say as long as the story is good, they don't really care if the art isn't up to the same level as the writing, as long as the story is good. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to see this. I'm just so excited about this because it looks so awesome. That's me right there.
Yeah,
Woo!
That's Ian wants to know who the prince is. Judging by the trailer, I'm not spoiling anything because the trailer is out there. Judging by the trailer, the prince is actually inside the egg.
Right.
He is actually like the last dragon. I believe he's the last dragon, or one of the last dragons. So they're trying to save the dragons.
If you look at the trailer, it looks really, really good. Okay. Yeah, we said it's cell shading. We know because we use it on our web comic. But they do something. Yeah, they're skipping it. It's like a little herkier, jerkier.
Yeah, I don't
think it looks bad.
No, I don't think it does either. I think
if they had done She-Ra like this.
Yeah, if She-Ra looked like this, I would be.
We don't know yet because we don't ever get to see anything about
God,
She-Ra.
no, it's gonna look like Steven Universe. Look, there's emotions and fire and explosions and
avalanches
and holy shit, balls.
Oh, it's always better with balls
and water. Look at this. This show looks badass. I really am super excited. Like, I'm so excited about this show. I want another Avatar. I want another Avatar: The Last Airbender. We put a link, Ethan Dino, above. It's gonna be on Netflix in like a week and a half.
It looks really good. So that's what Netflix should do. Is things like this. So let's talk about this for a minute. You went and we were looking at the people that are working on it.
Yes.
We noticed a couple things here because we were comparing it to the not Dragon Prince show.
Right. So we've got two highly anticipated shows coming back to back at Netflix, and both should be slam dunks. I mean, we have a show with one of the head writers of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is Dragon Prince.
Oh, but Avatar was amazing.
Avatar was amazing. I really couldn't get into Korra. I couldn't. It was boring. I thought it was boring. But this looks awesome. We've got the young cast. We've got the humor. It feels like Avatar. So this is going to be really awesome. Okay,
so we went and looked at the IMDb to see who was working on it. One thing we noticed was funny, though. Well, we have to do Twitter first.
Should we go to Twitter first?
Let's go to Twitter first.
For which one?
We're Dragon Prince. So we're going to do a comparison here. We're going to talk about the other thing. So we have the Dragon Prince, and of course we have She-Ra coming. So we went to the Dragon Prince and we looked, and they have 19.5 thousand followers on Twitter.
Yep.
So we're like, okay, well, that's great, and it seems very positive, and everybody's really upbeat about it. So then we were like, what She-Ra have? And She-Ra, oh wait, we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Okay, so we got some more information on She-Ra here. She-Ra's got 5,000 people. But now apparently they're going to do a something unveiling. So we think we're going to get a trailer
at Comic-Con.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. Should we go out to IMDb first real quick? And
I just want to show this. We noticed something. So we went to IMDb to look at both of these.
Because we're like, okay, who worked on the show? We know that, we've got some folks from Avatar. Oh, cool. Okay. So we go here. Hey, look at the popularity skyrocketing for Dragon Prince. That's awesome. This show, just look at this. Everybody's like looking up. Man, this is going to be cool. This is going to be very cool. Okay, cool. Let's go out to She-Ra and see how She-Ra's... how's She-Ra doing?
No, I also want to point out that, look, it's listed. Creator Noelle Stevenson.
No,
she did not flip and create She-Ra.
Who's the creator of the Dragon Prince? Oh, look, they don't talk about it. They just talk about the staff, the entire staff working on...
But then She-Ra comes up. Noelle Stevenson. What the flip is going on that everything we get about She-Ra is all about Noelle Stevenson?
Created by the same writers as Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Now that's a little more impressive.
That is.
Created by the person who did a couple books that no one really read and worked on a team of people on a couple episodes. But I'm just like, why does it have to be constantly? You cannot talk about She-Ra unless you talk about her. Was it like in the contract?
It might have been. It's not a joke. It might have actually been in the contract.
I am She-Ra. I created it. I am her. And I'm like, no, you did not create She-Ra. You did not create it. You might have adapted it to this version, but you did not flip and create it.
Yeah, I would say developer, probably developed by, adapted by. I think that's fair.
That's fair. She did not flip and create it. Stop. And they keep posting that she's the creator. She is not the creator. That's true. The only way it would be a creator is if it was changed so far from the original.
Well,
I'm just saying. That is the only way that a creator would even fit. Is if, it was so far removed from the original that you can't even make it, it's not even the original. That's the only way you can even use creator as a correct terminology for this.
Yeah,
but look, it's like, yay, popularity, woo, yeah.
Look, everybody's excited about Dragon Prince. Yes, rock Dragon Prince, woo, skyrocketing. She-Ra just, dropped off a freaking cliff. Nobody cares. Okay, so, actually some people, 5,000 people care. Okay, so She-Ra is going to make a big debut, I guess, at New York Comic-Con, which is in line with what we've heard from people. So Thursday at 3 in the ballroom. They're probably it's going to be a ballroom blitz if the trailer sucks, is what it's going to be. So I'm not following Noelle Stevenson. I unfollowed her because she's mean to people.
So she probably deleted all that.
She probably did. So anyway, here, let's see what everybody thinks. Well, it's got a lot of retweets and a lot of likes. Are we going to see a trailer? I'm dying to see She-Ra take to the skies in her beautiful flying steed.
Wow, that's not creepy.
And then cut a horde ship right in half with her sword. I don't know if that's going to happen.
If it does, I'll be really upset because that's not She-Ra.
What we got here? We've got... She looks bloody terrible. I hope it's not ruined. Totally agree. From Sweet Mother Trucker. The tiara to the boots, just awful. Why make them the same as a costume? Keep them golden. Why put shorts on underneath the skirt? Well, Geeky does approve of the shorts. I do
approve of the shorts because you have your, she's skinny. She shouldn't have this issue. But people, like sometimes women with really strong legs have it too. The chub rub is real, people. You need the short between the skirt so you don't get friction in there and it gets hot. It gets uncomfortable. You get rashes and chafing and no one wants that. So the shorts I can understand.
Did they contact the original team of the old show? I don't know. I mean, it would be pretty asinine if they didn't. You'd think they'd reach out to some of the Filmation crew. I have no idea. I don't know. So far, it's Noelle Stevenson. Noelle Stevenson's She-Ra by Noelle Stevenson.
Why would they contact the creative team? Because it's created by Noelle Stevenson.
Here we go. This is what anime female superheroes should look like. Yeah, I'd be okay with the She-Ra that was... Even Captain Marvel looks pretty good in the animation. I wish I could go... The blowback from this nightmare is going to be Great Eater. Stevenson failed to meet Universal standards previewing animation. Social Justice Necromancer. What's funny is you're saying that you have a Voltron Legendary defending Avatar. People saying the exact same thing about before it actually came out, and yet became a massive hit.
Actually, I didn't hear much complaints about it at all before
there were no complaints.
There were probably some. I just didn't see
some. I didn't hear a whole lot of complaints. Actually, most people... when they announced Voltron, they dropped that trailer. They're like, "Holy shit, this looks awesome!" Like their reaction to that, from what I remember, because I mean, I was hanging out in some Transformers forums, and these guys like they're robots.
I love this one. I'm sorry,
they were all about it.
I love this one. I never watched the original She-Ra. Of course you didn't. But this reboot looks so cool. A practical combat armor. She looks so strong and amazing. And stop complaining about a show that's not even out yet. Also, it wasn't made for 40-year-old men. Let the kids appreciate it.
Geeky's a 40-year-old man. Did you know that?
I asked people, and I've heard from people who had kids, and they showed it to their kids, and their kids hated it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I would agree with this. Powerpuff Girls was that was... God, you want to talk about shows that were just wrong. It was a wrong direction to take. It was a reboot of the Powerpuff Girls. We could go on about that later, but it was awful.
The Filmation backgrounds were beautiful. I will give the new She-Ra that. So far, what we've seen about the backgrounds,
yes.
There's a lot of like phallic things in the backgrounds. The backgrounds are very, very, very pretty. If it was a show about the backgrounds, we'd be golden. But then again, like I said, we haven't seen anything yet, and if it does turn out to be good, I will say, okay, it was good, and I was wrong.
Yeah, we'll watch it. I mean,
I'm not really thinking that's going to happen, but it's possible.
Well,
I really thought Solo was going to suck. And I know people don't like it, but we actually like Solo.
I actually had the worst. I expect the worst from Solo, and we walked out there like, that was actually pretty decent. What the hell?
Well, now we got to talk about the rumor.
Okay, so we get people excited, kind of.
Can we talk about the rumor? Okay,
so you know how we were saying that the new She-Ra looks like Steven Universe? The rumor is that She-Ra is going to sound like Steven Universe because they're going to have musical numbers and songs in...
well, we know of two.
She-Ra, yes.
The rumor is...
All right.
The rumor is... No, this is all rumor because it was pulled down. The rumor was Adam Ray, who does the voice of Swiftwind, has recorded 2 songs.
Yeah, and they mysteriously disappeared. He recorded 2 songs.
No, he's recording it, and he talked about it.
Oh, he talked about a podcast, but the podcast disappeared. It disappeared. Oh, thank you, McKee. You don't have to keep giving us money.
Yeah,
Jeez,
I agree with you. There's definitely a clear winner here.
Between the Dragon Spice, She-Ra, and High Guardian Spice, I think there's a clear winner. Or Dragon Spice. Oh my God, did I say Dragon Spice?
Did you?
Between the Dragon Prince, She-Ra, and High Guardian Spice, I think there's a clear winner. So far, the only show I'm excited about is Dragon Prince, and I'm like super excited about Dragon Prince. So you better not let me down, Dragon Prince.
We don't know anything about it. It's a rumor.
Sticking our necks out for you.
It's a rumor that was out there, and links to it have suddenly all disappeared. But apparently, Adam Ray, who does the voice of Swiftwind, has said that the rumor is he said that he has recorded a couple songs. I'm just hoping it's not like Starlight from Rainbow Brite the movie.
Oh God, Starlight.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Been up for hours.
That's all She-Ra needs. Like, good news, everybody. She-Ra's gonna have a singing horse. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? That's what everybody wants from She-Ra. Freaking singing unicorn.
Do you know
this is your
when we
She-Ra.
were kids, they had it sometimes, they had the singing characters, but mostly it didn't. And we didn't require the singing characters, and things were a lot darker back then. But now, because it's a kids show, they had to have singing characters, because, they'll use it. Well, it's for kids. Well, we were kids, and we didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. To me, it just sounds like it's going to kind of kidify. The only time they had music in the original She-Ra that I remember They had the Christmas special, which was hokey, and even Skeletor singing Christmas carols.
That was fun, though.
It was fun.
We'll do a Christmas special.
It was a Christmas special, and
maybe we'll sing Christmas songs.
And the movie, which they had the the kind of the cringe-inducing "Power of Love" song, which had some incestuous overtones.
That video beats Empire.
But that played during the intro to the movie and at the end of She-Ra, but they never actually sang it during the.
What does Skeletor sound like on the show?
No.
Yes. No. We all want to hear it.
No. What song?
I don't know. Pick one. Something funny.
I can't do Skeletor on command.
Oh, you can't do Happy Birthday. Do something. Yes, you can. Oh, never mind. He won't do it.
I'll think of a Skeletor song. I don't even know what he would.
What would Skeletor sing?
What would Skeletor sing?
I'm trying to think of one.
No, She-Ra singing with the ukulele. I swear to God, they're probably, because Bo in the original had a harp. He was like a minstrel / archer / porn star, apparently.
Okay, they're giving you.
Oh God, I don't know that. I see your turn. Oh God, I don't know the lyrics to these songs. I'm
Dumb
not
bones.
No, it is because Skeletor sing the song "Loser."
Sing the loser song. Not calling you a loser. You can't read either. What's wrong with you? I can't even think of song. If you think of one, he'll do it later. But that I don't know.
I'm trying to think of a song that would be like a Skeletor song that would just be terrible as Skeletor.
Do a love song. That'd be even funnier.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, there we go. Loser. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me?
Oh my God. That's not what he's singing, though.
Kill me like I killed puppies. How I think about killing He-Man at night. That muscly motherfucker. Sometimes I think about killing him. Other times I think about other things. His sword, my staff, the power of Grayskull, it would be glorious. God, I don't know. That's the worst Skeletor ever. Like, people are actually like, freaking do Skeletor, and I'm like, I can't do Skeletor.
I'm crying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You had to be here.
I like to fight He-Man because I see his ass jiggle under that little furry underpants of his.
This is bad. That was so funny.
It was awful.
Anyway.
No, they're not listening. They better not be listening.
What?
The kids are not listening. I hope the kids aren't listening.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh my God.
That was hilarious. And
I'm
wrong.
getting demonetized.
Anyway.
I'm getting demonetized and like sued by Mattel for ruining Skeletor forever.
The dancing Skeletor.
There is not enough ear bleach for that. This is why they didn't hire us to do the He-Man reboot with me doing the voice of Skeletor.
I don't think so. I think the She-Ra Netflix trailer is going to break the internet like Captain Marvel, but for other reasons.
I think it's going to be a cluster. I mean, again, we will give it a fair shot, but I'm like,
that's funny. Dragon Prince trailer disappointed me, though. He did not show how
diverse
the cast is. No, she's joking. Like every other thing that comes up, everything comes up. They're like saying, "Do we mention like the spice? Do we mention how diverse we are? We're so diverse." The She-Ra, they had that the cast writing room with all the women. Look how diverse we are. We're so diverse.
Yeah, I know. What they need to do is they need to have like the guy that does all the what's his name, the dude
that'd be funny.
that does all the trailer like. It's like, in a world with black women and brown boys, or something, comes the Dragon Prince, or something, I don't know, like announce that, we're diverse. But no, actually the trailer looks diverse, but they don't push it as being like, look at all the diversity. Actually, it was just like...
Our kids, they expect it now. They're used to it. Our kids can be just as bad, honestly. I mean... We trained them well.
Our kids are... Yeah, if you saw the drawing live stream that people were like, oh My God, what is wrong with
Oh,
these
the
people?
Drawful, yeah. Our
Drawful.
daughter. Sometimes she's got
Squid King especially is like, he's just like freaking out there, man. I'm so proud.
I still
Don LaFontaine, yeah, he needs to do.
I still love when our daughter was mad about people harassing her on Roblox, and she's like, I tried to kill him with kindness, but they wouldn't die. So I decided to fight fire with fire and got my flamethrower. I'm like, that's my child.
She's 10, and I'm so proud. Daddy's proud. Daddy's proud.
Yes. Anyway, so other things that besides the Dragon Prince, which we're very excited about. Other things that we're looking forward, possibly maybe looking forward to. They dropped the trailer out for Nutcracker in the Four Realms.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
Because that's the big Disney thing they're doing for Christmas.
I had that pulled up somewhere.
My only thing about the Nutcracker in the Four Realms is the fact that they are making sure, because it's a Disney movie, that the mom's dead. So in the last trailer, not this one, they're talking about how her mom was some, like inventor, but she died in these realms and stuff. So now the world Nutcracker was invented by her mom, who's dead, because it's a Disney movie, so the mom has to be dead.
Moms have to be dead.
It's a Disney movie. But they showed a new trailer for that, and they have some battle sequences. I'm very torn on this. It looks kind of cool for the backgrounds, but I just don't know.
I don't know. It looks like it's trying too hard to be Tim Burton without Tim Burton. Like they're trying really hard to, do the Alice movie again, and I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this could be like really a really cool idea, or just like I don't know.
And then we're going to talk about other movies coming. Since everybody's talking about Captain Marvel, we can mention
We'll talk about Captain Marvel. Let's talk about Captain Marvel. So
I have a bad feeling about it, too. I'm just saying. Not Captain Marvel, the Nutcracker. I'm hoping, but...
Well, Tim Burton is making Dumbo.
Dumbo now.
Very dark.
That matches.
Very dark Dumbo. Yeah, I think he's going to get that pink elephant sequence right, though. Because Tim Burton's, like, freaking nuts.
Anyway... So everybody's going nuts about the Captain Marvel.
Are they? I mean, because people are like, I think they expected a bigger reaction.
Well, I mean, they're just like,
Yeah.
I think what everybody's complaining about is, like the future is female. But you have a theory about this, right, Neon?
I think they were okay. So people were like immediately they're looking at the Captain Marvel and they're like, oh my God, they're trolling the people because they said about the future or the Force is female on the Star Wars shirts and people got upset. No. I think what they're doing, because wasn't there talk about some SJWs were going to boycott Marvel because of James Gunn being fired?
Yeah, and,
okay. This is called insurance. This right here is called insurance. Hey, SJWs, yeah, you're boycotting the Marvel Universe for moral reasons, but guess what? The next Marvel movie features the first female lead in the feature.
And directed by a woman.
Directed by a woman. You're not allowed to boycott it.
Because if you do...
You're a hater.
You're a hater.
And a misogynist.
You're against women. So the future is female. It's called damage control before it's necessary because of all the stuff coming out with everybody being mad about... Gunn and all that, and Batista dropping.
Oh my God!
Spoilers!
Stop talking, Dave. Stop talking, Dave.
So yeah, so I think that's why people are saying about the future of female. I think it's more. I agree with you. I think it's more to do with we got to make sure that we push this whole female angle because if you boycott it, then you're against women.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what you do. If you like or hate something, if you hate something and everybody else likes it, and you don't, you're obviously against women. It's always, even if there's only one woman in it. You didn't like it because you're against women.
Look at this is cool. Ronan the Accuser's back. We got Captain Marvel, played by Jude Law, because he's playing everybody now. He's Dumbledore too. And we got the 90s because 9 Inch Nails t-shirt.
Oh yeah,
and Nick Fury's got 2 eyes and he's been de-aged because Disney likes to de-age everybody now. All the Marvel movies, that's like mandatory. Like everybody has to be de-aged. And yeah.
Look how big my rocket is.
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
I don't know if this is gonna be terrible or not though, because I think Marvel Studios so far has been really good at reining some of this stuff in, from the comics, and it sounds to me like they're gonna just kind of come up with their own. Their own storyline, from a couple of different sources. So
yeah, I don't know what's going. I mean, I think it's gonna be the MCU Captain Marvel, not the.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it might be okay. It might be okay.
We'll see. But I just thought it was interesting because everybody's saying about the future is female, and then Neon had mentioned that, and I'm like, that's actually
it's called
very
insurance, people.
Good point of view, because you can't because there was talk they're going to boycott these movies because they fired Gunn, and until they bring Gunn back, we're going to boycott the movies, which is okay when it's they're mad. But when other people are mad about things like Star Wars and that, and they boycott it, then they're called names, man, baby tears, all that stuff, because how dare you boycott that? But when they're upset, it's completely valid to boycott. So if you boycott, though, you're against strong female characters, strong female directors, and that kind of thing.
But they have to make sure you know she's the most powerful.
Oh, they did make sure. They did. And the most powerful because it's the woman.
Your very first look at the galaxy's newest and most powerful. She's the strongest, most powerful star. She's the most powerful character in the MCU. And if she is like a giant Mary Sue,
well, and then they were going
go over well.
They were going on too on there about, I guess, Palm, who plays Mantis. I'm just gonna say Palm because her name's so like I don't even. Anyway, they were saying, oh, she had a leak. She had a Avengers 4 leak. And it was basically her saying that when she was on set with, Brie Larson and the girl that played, how do you say her name? The guard.
I can't say her name, so I'm not going to try.
The guard from the Black Panther movie. I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
Yeah.
But they were on set. They were on set there with Captain Marvel and her, and on Avengers 4. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's a leak. I'm like, you knew Captain Marvel was coming.
I know.
They flippin' told you.
I know, that's the big news. Like, Captain Marvel's MCU.
And then if it's because her character disintegrated, guess what? There was going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think people figured it out.
Yeah, because Dave Bautista is just to troll Disney. He's been kind of like letting it loose now because he really wants to have his contract, I think. And he probably will not be back for Guardians 3. Why didn't she just beat Thanos? That's a good question.
Yeah, good question.
She's floating around in space and she's still rocking a flip phone. Apparently, that's what she's doing these days. I don't know. So that was like Nick Fury's last phone call. Nobody really knows how people are gonna react to this because she pretty much is. I mean, this is not like Wonder Woman where everybody knows who Wonder Woman is. I mean, Captain Marvel has had a really spotty history in Marvel Comics. They've tried to push her to the forefront in recent years, and they made her just absolutely unlikable. So her comic keeps getting canceled because everybody hates her. So hopefully the movie doesn't suck.
When I see this, all I keep thinking of is how the heck does she move in that? Because even she looks uncomfortable just in the picture.
She just looks like she's in pain. Every picture, she looks like she's in pain.
I'm smiling, but it hurts.
She's not smiling. She doesn't smile in any of these pictures.
My legs are stiff. It's like, this sucks. Who designed this? Who thought this was a good idea?
Scrolls are cool. Nobody's smiling. Nobody's smiling. Except for Sam Jackson. But that could be CG. She is not smiling. Nails. I don't believe that Brie Larson actually listens to Nine Inch Nails. I'm just speculating. She doesn't seem like the 9 Inch Nails type.
So anyway.
She's smiling.
Everybody is like going on about this today, and a lot of people were like, the future's female thing, and I do think that's an insurance. I do. I really do. I agree with you on that. So anyway, that was that. And the other thing we were going to talk about, which has nothing to do with any of this other than the fact that I want to see it next year, is the Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, this is worth getting excited about because the first one was awesome.
I just want to see I just like Wonder Woman. So,
I like this art. I think this is cool.
I like this outfit. Awesome.
I know. I like a roller derby Wonder Woman. We're not going to see this, I can guarantee you. But no, I'm excited. Like Wonder Woman was like another one of those movies where I'm like, I have the lowest possible expectations for this because the DCU has the DCEU has let everybody down hard on multiple occasions. I'm like, they're going to screw up Wonder Woman. They're going to totally screw up. Oh my God, Wonder Woman was actually pretty good.
I liked Wonder Woman.
All right,
but I love Wonder Woman. I have an attachment to Wonder Woman since I was a child. I used to watch the show. I used to have the underoos. I love Wonder Woman. I always have. My brother has a scar because I was fighting evil and pushed him into a garbage bag and it cut himself on glass. That scar is my fault and Wonder Woman's. So I love Wonder Woman.
Yeah, so Wonder Woman 84, looking forward to that more than Captain Marvel. So we're going to talk about complaining. So we're going to go from, like, look what we want to see to more complaining. Or you have something else? Wait, no, I wanted to pull up this dumpster fire. This is the express.uk, which is a garbage, I didn't see this yet. A garbage site. Kind of like Bleeding Cool. Pretty much, it's like the British, well, Bleeding Cool's kind of British too, but this is like the Inquirer of Great Britain. they put these garbage theories out I swear to God, they pump out like 100 of these things a day, mostly Star Wars, and they just start making crap up. So Avengers 4 shock scroll theory proved by this new image. Which Avenger is it? Avengers 4 fan theories were convinced one or more major characters would be revealed as Skrull shapeshifters, and this new Captain Marvel official film image seems to prove it. Has the secret invasion already begun? No!
What are we looking at?
We're looking at ads. Oh, here. Okay, because they're talking about the Kree Skull War and secret invasion and all this junk. No, I don't think they're going to have Avengers 4. They're going to type the Thanos thing. They're not going to have the Kree Skull War going on during Avengers 4.
Who knows?
Who knows? This is clickbait. That's okay. Yeah. So anyway, I just had that pulled up because we're going to talk about it. So
yeah. So we're going to talk about some other things that we're now going to get to other things we're going to talk about. We're complaining about.
Bye, slithering peanut.
So you'll see you. We'll see you. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway. We were going to talk about the Adventure Time finale.
Oh, God. Okay, so I need a beer. I don't have any beer.
I don't have any beer.
But I want a beer. Okay, so the Adventure Time finale, if you're subscribed to this channel, you probably watch cartoons. Adventure Time ended the other night, and Squid King and I Squid King, who was I think he was like in first or second grade when Adventure Time started. Like, he literally grew up with this show. We watched he was so upset.
He was calmer in the video. You should have seen him before the video.
He actually toned it down because he was afraid of getting hate. The kid, the first thing he did when we were done, he like threw his arms up in the air and he was like, "What was that?" And he kicked the chair across the room. He's like, "I'm salty. I'm really salty." I'm like, "You know what, son? Our channel is a salt mine. You take that rage, you channel your mother's rage, and you put it in to the best, most epic, saltiest video the internet has ever seen." And he toned the salt down because he had time to stop and think. I'm like, no son of mine is going to stop and think before he speaks on the internet.
He's very shy.
But so anyway,
they jumped him like crazy.
Oh my God! So we were the only people who called this shit as it was, which is the Adventure Time finale was a terrible last episode.
I was actually watching it off and on. I was actually watching my K-drama. It was a Chinese drama this time. And I'd like pick my head up a couple times and look over. I'm like, what the hell? And then I'd go back to watching my show because I just didn't care. They lost me seasons ago. I was just like, it just got too weird. I don't really care.
Yeah, it did get weird. But, he actually, now I dropped Adventure Time after like season 5 because it just got freaking I mean, it was fun at first. It was a really fun show.
I've seen it off and on clear up to the end.
And then, like when they changed showrunners, when Pendleton Ward left, the show really got up its own ass. I mean, it really did. It was very pretentious and they had these like ridiculous. They'd tease all these mysteries, and half of them they never even explained, or they tried to explain them, and the explanations were garbage. So I stopped really watching it regularly after the 5th season, and Squid King kept watching it. He binge watched all 10 seasons leading up to this.
Like, have you ever watched this? This kid has watched this show since it premiered, and he watched it all the time. I made him Finn hats to dress up as Halloween before. He loves this show. He watches all the time. He's watched episodes multiple times. He binged watched the whole thing just to be ready for the finale. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, Makina, you keep giving us money.
I think it's Bikini.
Makini, I'm sorry. You don't have to give us money, but thank you. From what I've heard, it sounds like they pulled a Legend of Korra finale by making the reveal only to please the shippers.
Yeah, which wasn't a surprise, but we'll get to that in a minute.
It was, and we'll talk about how people, like, they don't even...
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute. So he was upset about... Actually, that was like the least thing we were caring. He was upset about. He was like, whatever. We expected it. Because they've been kind of building up and pointing to that for a while. I don't think anybody was surprised by it. I mean, I don't think it was. And that's what gets me is the internet, when even on the video, they're like, well, everybody's, you're not talking about the kiss. It's like, why would we? Because we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It was a Cartoon Network show, so clearly they're going to do that because they do it all the time on Cartoon Network. And people were upset because people weren't shocked by it. I'm like, but you keep yelling about how you want people to look at this as a form of normalcy. and you want it to be accepted. So people start, getting used to it, accepting it. Like, our kids don't even blink twice. They're like, okay, because they've seen all those shows all the time.
Yeah.
And then you're mad because people aren't talking about it as being a shocker.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you wanted it to be normal.
It wasn't. Okay, so we talked about it for about a total like 10 seconds. We were not dismissive or any, like, we were just kind of like, yeah, okay, so that happened. Because the problems we had with the episode had nothing to do with that, because they dropped it, pretty hard that they were gonna ship Bubblegum and Marceline.
Yeah, this was no surprise.
There was no surprise. It was no surprise. So it was like, that wasn't the problem.
This is Cartoon Network. Of course they were gonna do that.
Yeah, of course. But this was not the problem. The problem we had with the episode was it was a, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen it and you plan on seeing it, don't listen to me. You got like 5 seconds. Okay. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody keeps focusing on that, but that was like the least, the thing to talk about. So they're mad at him for not being like, oh, let's talk about the kids, because he really didn't care.
No, he didn't care.
He was like, I saw that coming, and they accused him of being a homophobe.
Oh my God, they accused my
best friend's lesbian.
Yeah, I know. It's like they accused Squid King of being a homophobe. They excused both of being homophobes. So anyway, we watched the last episode. It was they had all this buildup. This is what I guess frustrated me about, and this is why I said in the video too, and I just want to show you guys, like, look at this crap. 606.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute.
We'll talk about, somebody admitted to having to downvoting this video to
They
Oblivion.
basically were going around, and then Squid King's a little upset by this, I think.
He was, because that was his first rant, and he's getting support now, though. People are coming out of the woodwork now.
But like, somebody was going around, and they were like, I voted it down twice, and they're doing this. They're using multiple accounts to go around and vote people down who disagree with him, and that's my new favorite thing is, well, what was it they kept saying? You're misinformed. You're misinformed. That is the new thing everybody keeps saying. When you don't like something they like, well, you're misinformed.
It's better than
I don't like Star Wars. You're misinformed. I don't like, you're misinformed. I don't like Adventure Time. You're misinformed. Just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they're misinformed. It means they don't agree with you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, so I liked it. No, that's fine. You're allowed to like it. You're totally allowed to like it. So here's the problem. I think it wasn't like it.
We're not going to tell you you're misinformed.
No, not at all.
We think it's cool if people like things we don't like.
It wasn't that it was the most god awful thing ever. It was
too cramped.
It was a letdown. Because it was a non-ending. And I think why it was a letdown, this is why I compared it to The Last Jedi, because they teased for months that they were going to have this the mother of all battles. Like, this is going to be the freaking end of all things in Adventure Time. And that's what they teased for months and months and months and months. And what you got was a pretty standard episode that tied up a couple of the storylines and then just opened up a whole bunch of crap for the future, introduced a whole bunch of new characters, and just was like, oh yeah, and by the way, the show is not really ending. It's just kind of going to go on forever. We're not going to give you an actual... I think
they're doing a comic or something with it.
Boom's doing a comic series, but they're just like, yeah,
they've been doing comics, and they weren't selling very well. But,
no.
But I was just going to say, it's just, the whole thing was just, I think his biggest point was, it was too cramped.
Yes.
Like, it was like, there should have been 5 episodes worth of storylines that they could have actually, went out on and answered more things, and they just crammed it all into one episode, and it was just like what the heck happened? And I think that was more his point, was that he was more upset because it should have been like a 5-episode arc or something like that.
Right, because they did, and that's one thing. I mean, the vibe I got with this, with Adventure Time was they basically either they ran out of money or they ran out of give a shit, or a combination of both, because they had these big miniseries that actually wrapped up a lot of the questions that they with Finn's family, and Marceline got her own miniseries, and then we kind of expected like that for the ending, but this was just kind of like, yep, we're done, we're out, we'll just wrap up these couple of things, but they have like the big bad that they've been teasing forever is defeated by the power of love and friendship.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about this for a minute.
Oh my God.
I get what they're saying.
So stupid.
I get what they're saying, because their friendship and harmony, is what defeated this thing. But it was really dumb. But it reminded me of the things from the 80s, like, Care Bears, Stare, and like My Little Pony, they defeat Discord with the power of friendship and magic. And and I get the whole we need to work in unity, kumbaya stuff, but I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it was okay.
You can work in Unity and not make it a song.
Yeah, so they have this. I mean, and spoiler alert again.
Makes sense for the show, but
spoiler alert. So yeah,
they pulled a Snoke. Yeah, pretty much.
They did. No, it's exactly it. That's exactly it. It was a Snoke. They build up Gulb, which was supposed to be this like.
Goodness, I remember that. Goodness makes the badness go
Yeah,
away.
that's exactly what it was.
That's great.
They build up this demon to be the mother of all, like this was the big bad. This is who the Lich answered to. This is who, like, he was freaking, this guy was the most ridiculously powerful thing in all of Adventure Timedom. He shows up and you're like, oh yeah, shit's gonna get real. This is gonna be like the end of Gravity
It's like
Falls.
if I showed up.
Yeah, right? It's like if Geeky showed up. But no, it's like, it's going to be like the ending of Gravity Falls where Bill just unleashes hell on Earth. And this is going to be freaking
Gravity Falls. Awesome.
epic.
Love Gravity Falls.
No! Literally, the big bad does nothing. And he's basically defeated by the power of friendship. They all sing the same song and it weakens him.
Because they all know the same song out of nowhere.
Then a D-list character takes over the body and disappears, and that's how they resolve that conflict. Again, there's no conflict to resolve. There was no fighting. They actually, the big war that they teased, they just kind of like talk it out and then they're
Which
done.
they could have done. They had
stupid.
over a few episodes. They could have given it more substance, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It just felt like some things were lacking substance. Oh, I love Gravity Falls.
No, I love Gravity Falls. I love Gravity Falls. See, here's the thing. Freaking Gravity Falls had one of the best. I mean, the ending of Gravity Falls was just, it was epic. It was what that series, being such a good series, deserved. Like everything you wanted. Freaking everything. And Bill
good.
and demons and battles and all
Falls.
kinds of crazy shit. I expected a show as insane bonkers as Adventure Time to have an exciting ending, like it's this will be the mother of all Adventure Time episodes, and it was just weak sauce. I mean, even for a regular episode, it was really weak.
My son keeps bringing up too that it used to be like, you know, Finn would have to solve his own problems, and Finn would have to, he would be the one they call in, and then it became more and more like he had to turn to the women in the show to solve his problems and things like that. And my son's like, what the flip? You know, it's like, come on. But yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting a D&D boss fight. Yeah, it was very much like Snoke. They built Golb up to be this, you know, if he was the big bad, and they were, you know, and they dispatch him easily, not even before the end of the episode, and then they just kind of like talk about shit until the end of the episode. Gravity Falls had a great creator who knew when to end it rather than milk it for money. Yeah, I've heard from multiple people the problem with Adventure Time is Pendleton Ward wanted to end it about 5 seasons ago, and Cartoon Network kept it going because it was making money. I was expecting a D&D boss fight from Greasy Smith. Yeah, the reason I loved Adventure Time at the beginning was it was kind of like, you know, this is how a kid would play Dungeons and Dragons. It was like so random and so funny, and it was like goofy, like Dungeons and Dragon-y type adventures. So it would be like, you know, seeing Tiamat would appear, and then you would just like sing to Tiamat, and that would be the end of the battle. Like, it was just weak.
Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, the best Dungeons and Dragons episode was the Gravity Falls one. Was it Dungeons and More Dungeons?
Oh my God, Gravity Falls is so good.
That was my favorite Dungeons and Dragons episode of anything.
Yeah,
it was
no,
pretty funny.
It does end like an SJW Marvel comic because, you know, the one thing that they got me about, like the early episodes of Adventure Time, there was actual conflict. There was physical conflict. There were good guys and bad guys, and yeah, sometimes you have people in between. But you know, Finn was mostly a pretty moral guy, and you followed his adventures, and you know, and it was cool. And he just wanted to adventure and have fun and do the right thing. With the ending, it was so SJW because like we've got this, you know, this impending doom, but we don't know how to resolve it, so we'll just sing and harmonize, and if we're good enough and we're all friends and we all think the same thing, the bad stuff will just go away because we can't have actual conflict.
Okay, that's a key to it. Next time we have bills and we don't want to pay them, we'll just sing together in the Skeletor voice. As long as we harmonize, and the bills will disappear.
Oh my God!
But you said I have not seen the D&D episode for Community, but I've heard it was really good. I have not seen it. But I knew Weird Al was the wizard, and that I thought it was just I loved it.
Cartoon Network. I don't even know what to make of Cartoon Network anymore. The only thing that makes me sad about Adventure Time ending now is we're gonna have another hour of Teen Titans Go.
Pretty much. You were joking about that. You were joking.
No, you think I'm kidding? Nah, hell no. It's gonna be Teen Titans all the time.
But anyway, we were just talking about that because we took so much crap for saying this, and poor Squid King, he was a little upset about it. But he also has told us that he hears a lot worse playing video games online, which is probably true.
Yeah, I just felt so bad because they immediately jumped on, and there were people in the comments that actually said, because it got posted on some Adventure Time forum or something, or some, you know, Tumblr or something like that, and they said in the comments, "Oh, I haven't even listened to the video yet, but I'm going to download it twice because you're dumb." I hate the thumbnail.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the
They
hell?
said that there was a group going around downvoting people. So, but the upvotes are catching up. It's just too...
Yeah, there are people now, and it was so funny because a couple of people jumped in there like, "Shut up, you're 9," and you can tell, you can kind of tell by the tone of voice and stuff that like these were kids.
I still love that you just you have misinformation. You don't understand, and it's like I kept hearing that about Star Wars. You're just misinformed. You don't fundamentally understand the character of Luke Skywalker. I'm like hell, I don't.
No, and that's what the exact same thing. I'm telling you, the ending of Adventure Time is the anime version of The Last Jedi. They had all this build up for this really great freaking saga. It disappointed on so many levels. They dispatched the bad guy without even really explaining what the hell was going on. They subverted expectations, and all the media, the same media outlets that praise The Last Jedi, are just oozing for this Adventure Time.
Yeah, of course,
they are
the same places, right? They get bought off,
and it's all like it's a subversive masterpiece. Really, basically, you're too dumb to understand it. This is a subversive masterpiece, and you're just too dumb. So now I think, and a lot of people first are drinking the Kool-Aid. They're like, "Oh yes, you're right," because I don't want to be dumb, so I better say Adventure Time's pretty good, and I also don't want Tumblr to come after me, so I better say that the ending was really good. And what's actually going on now, we're seeing more of the comments now. People are like, "Yeah, finally, somebody's calling out this bullshit that the ending was weak and it was not what this show deserved." And Adventure Time, for the most part, was a groundbreaking show. It was a really good show, and this was not the ending that this show deserved, and that is it. And Squid King is right, and everybody else can kiss my boots.
Everybody's talking about Gumball. Yeah. The character that everybody in my family says I remind them of. It's from Gumball.
Nicole. Everybody who's met Geeky in real life said Geeky is basically Nicole from Gumball.
Yeah, like a Secret of Universe, that like the Secret of the Universe comment, or when she was in the grocery store finding the old lady for the sale meat. That's me.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's totally
what a joke. People keep saying about a comic. I'm like, he'll just be yelling or laughing. It's probably me at the store. It's Black Friday. I'm trying to get the deals. That would be me. You know, oh, it's on sale. Get it first.
So the Geeky is Hi Nerd Wonder. So Geeky is definitely Nicole. I guess that makes me Richard.
He always
I'm
gets
Richard.
mad. Someone said that. He always gets mad. He's like, I'm not the fat pink sloppy rabbit.
Everybody's like, oh, that makes you Richard. I'm like, no, I'm not Richard.
He's not.
I'm not Richard, right?
No, he's much more motivated than that.
Oh my God, I'm not Richard. I don't even know what cartoon character I am.
Every time she would do something, they all would turn and look at me, and I'm like, what? It was just, and I watch it, I have to admit, yeah, I act like that.
That's so Nicole.
So if you want to know what I'm like, apparently, I'm like her.
Nerd Wonder missed all this. Or am I Darwin? No, God, I don't even know
I don't
what.
think you're any of the characters.
I don't know what character I'd be, like in any anime or anything. I don't know what I'd be. I don't know. Oh no, she's thinking. I'm Skeletor.
I'm trying to think.
I'm Skeletor.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what you were. I don't know. I still think, not animation, but I still think you're like Mr. Darcy without money.
I'm a poor. Oh, thanks. I'm a poor Mr. Darcy.
No, but
you are my dirt poor asshole husband.
No, that's not what No, I mean because he was always kind of just like sitting back and like like.
I am an asshole. I completely. I'm wheelie. Oh my God, no, I'm not.
Well, I liked Foster's, but it's been a long time. I haven't watched
Foster's
it
was good. Foster's was
Neon's
good.
wheelie.
I am wheelie. I am.
It's just funny. So
anyway, so you're gonna see, it's just so funny that fandoms get so. And Steven Universe, like I haven't even gone because Steven Universe, you are not allowed to criticize that show, even if you have legitimate.
Steven Universe or
Adventure Time or any of these,
or She-Ra apparently.
Yeah, She-Ra's gonna be in the same. It's gonna have a cult. I think it's gonna have a cult following, and they're gonna wage war on anybody who doesn't like She-Ra and her singing horse.
Who is the head of Cartoon Network? I don't know. Oh yeah, I was singing horse.
I don't know.
Well, I hope you're okay if the weather's getting bad. I'm thinking we're gonna get some storms here sometime soon because it's been ridiculously hot. Like
it's really hot.
Ridiculous, and it's supposed to get cold at the end of the week, so I'm thinking we're gonna get some. I have no idea who's in charge of Cartoon Network. I
don't know who's in charge now. Whoever it's Cartoon Network has gone down the shithole. At least they're not doing the freaking.
It went down the shithole.
It went down the shithole. Isn't that? Oh no, that was a singing hole on Adventure Time. That's how they ended it. Some people
like the show their shithole to people they don't like them on Twitter.
Christina Miller, that's right. It's Christina Miller. That's right. I do remember that. Yeah, I don't know, but it just has gone downhill in the last couple of years. Like, I don't even know what it feels like it's on. I mean, to me, it feels like it's on life support at this point. Like, they're just kind of like doing just enough to justify its existence, but they're not innovating like they used to. They used to put
yeah, sure they are. They did that kiss. They're innovating. That was supposed to be a
shocker.
That
was a shocker.
And that everybody's like,
when they said they dated before,
it's a surprise.
that was a shocker.
That's a non-surprise that everybody was expecting, but you know. And if you're not shocked, you must be a homophobe because you're not shocked. I'm like, I'm not shocked because we see it all the time and it's become normal. And that's what I thought you wanted.
Oh, my God. Duckman. Duckman was good. I don't even know if that's on DVD or Blu-ray or anything anymore.
Oh, no. No, the rumor is, it's a rumor.
It's a rumor.
Actually, there was something said in a podcast, but it's been deleted. There's Adam Ray who
that means it's true.
Probably.
If they delete it,
Adam
that means
Ray, it was only recently got deleted too. Adam Ray, who's the voice of Swiftwind, has said that he has supposedly said he recorded a couple songs for the show.
So good news, everybody. The new She-Ra is going to have a singing horse.
And possibly other people singing because that's the only one who's confirmed it. We don't know.
Yeah. So I can't wait.
It wasn't Steven Universe enough.
There are not enough singing horses in action shows these days.
I know, right?
This is just freaking awesome. Yeah, Duckman did end on a cliffhanger and got canceled, and I don't remember much because it's been like 20-some years since I've seen it. When Tumblr gets their foot in any fandom, normal fans will abandon it due to their toxic nature. Yeah, I believe that's true. With that, they get control, and the show just spiraled downward, pandering to them. I think Adventure Time has fallen into that. Steven Universe has definitely fallen into that because I think the premise of Steven Universe is great. I saw one video where guys like, I want to like Steven Universe, you know, like it's got all these things going for it, but then it's just so freaking boring. I can't, you know, and I like it for the most part. Squid King's like, Dad's watching the Space Lesbians again. There's Dad watching Space Lesbians again.
When I was gonna say, remember the days when you could like something and not like something, and you could still be friends with people. And that if you and you know, people were rational about things and you didn't, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I think the internet, I was saying this earlier on Twitter, I think the internet has become, remember when you were in school, in elementary school, and there's like these two kids acting up in class and doing something really crappy, and then the whole class gets punished because those two kids wouldn't behave? That's the internet now. Because you're never looked at as a person, you're looked at as the worst of whatever group they associate you with. Whether with that group or not, whatever the worst person in that group is, that's who you all are.
Yeah.
It's like the teacher. You're all punished because two people were dicks.
Speaking of people being punished wrongly.
Yeah, Starverse was good.
Yeah, Starverse is good. Should we talk about Alterna Comics?
Just for a few minutes, yeah.
We'll talk about Alterna for a little bit. So, Alterna Comics. We talked about Alterna Comics before. Alterna Comics got the Spanish Inquisition treatment on Twitter last week. Some idiots, and I know some of these idiots personally, so I'm going to call them idiots.
Wait, real quick. I want to go back to this. Someone who was at the Crunchyroll Expo confirmed that High Guardian Spice will have trans characters in it, and the main character will live in with a lesbian couple. Is anybody surprised by this?
Nope.
Because the creator's trans, and they made sure that like the person in the video had the rainbow hoodie, and we know Kate Leth is. So, lesbian. So, I don't think anybody's surprised by this.
Nobody's surprised by this.
No, not a surprise
at all. This is not a
surprise because that's what it is. But anyway, go ahead. Back to
Alterna Comics.
He was supposed to come on, but I think with everything going on
I think he's got a lot of stuff going on.
We'll leave him alone for a bit till he's fills his orders and everything dies down.
So. Peter Samedi, he actually
come on this week.
Popped in the comments a couple times. I guess he's been on a couple times.
He was going to come on this week, but
yeah, very cool guy. Very cool guy. Yeah, She-Ra's gonna be a lesbian tomboy. I'm sure she will.
Why does it matter? You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter.
No, I mean, like what she prefers, because in the original show, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why do we care? Why do we need to know? Why do we always need to know those things?
Yeah, no. One, actually, they are rebooting Rainbow Brite as a comic book. They've already said, and this is 100% true. They already said that Rainbow Brite is the hero that kids who are different need today. So yes. I think this might actually be happening. So Alterna Comics, Peter Simeti, who's a consummate professional, very professional dude, and he just wants to make comics for everybody and let everybody read his stuff, read their stuff, and promote.
He himself is diverse. And
yeah, he himself
quote,
is
unquote diverse.
Diverse. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that. So he got jumped on Twitter by a bunch of SJWs who thought he was a Nazi.
But here's the thing.
No, it's Nazi sympathizer.
Here's the thing. If you breathe in the wrong direction, you're suddenly a Nazi.
Yeah, you are.
And there are Nazis. There are people out there who identify themselves as Nazi. If they're telling you they're a Nazi, if they're identifying themselves as a Nazi, that's a Nazi. If someone doesn't agree with you on something, that does not make them a Nazi.
Yeah.
And if they're making fun of people, that they're a dick, but that doesn't make them a Nazi.
So
anyway.
Peter Simeti, I guess he got on the radar of the actual comic book Nazis, who are the SJWs who are policing Twitter for any dissent. And we've talked about this in a couple of videos before. They do not like what is sort of being referred to as Comicsgate, and they apparently don't like anyone who supports even tangentially that movement.
Wait, two things here. One, this person, but you have to read this too, right up here, where they're saying about the second Rainbow Brite cover. So we have to look at that too. But here, read him first.
Oh, hi, Junior. Thank you so much. You did not have to do that. Check out Gusto Early to Rise on Indiegogo. I will have to do that. Gusto Early to Rise, everybody.
And then they're saying about the second. No, we have not seen the second cover.
The cover of the second issue. No.
No, we have not seen that.
Okay. Oh God, a YouTuber called Lightning Bliss will not be happy. No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's okay. A lot of people aren't happy with me. This is me caring.
So Alterna, yeah. So Jennifer de Guzman, who is a busybody behind the scenes, she's a blogger now / journalist. She kind of came from the live journal scene years ago. She basically called Peter out because Peter was retweeting people's photos of them buying Alterna comics with the hashtag Move the Needle. Now, they don't like Move the Needle because Move the Needle is actually a pro-consumer or a pro-comic shop movement. Go buy comic books you like, post pictures of them on the internet. But Move the Needle originated with Diversity in Comics, as far as I know. They don't like Diversity in Comics. He's like, you don't talk about, he's the Voldemort of comic bookdom right now because he is. So because he retweeted people's tweets to him about buying, and he thanked them for buying his comic books, well, Peter became a Nazi sympathizer.
Hold on, I'll show you that.
Oh, Nick W. Get 30 free... Oh, hold on here. I don't want to go too far. 30 free digital comics at Alterna's website by signing up for the newsletter. That's cool.
This
I'll
is
have to
funny
do
too.
that. Who?
Right
Oh,
there.
I'm black, and I was called a KKK member because some character designs I had made for a game I worked on. I can completely believe this because these people are batshit crazy. Yeah, so...
And the mental gymnastics to make you still somehow not, you're like, I am the people you're saying you want to support, the diverse people. And then the mental gymnastics, well, internally, like, I'm an internalized misogynist and stuff like that, and it's like, whatever.
Yeah, it's so weird. So, anyway, so they were accusing Peter Simeti of being a white supremacist, and the dude's Asian. Like, I've never seen an Asian Nazi, but okay. Very nice guy, though. But yeah, he took a ton of crap. So this Jennifer de Guzman and her cronies were trying to get him to fess up that he was part of Comicsgate, and therefore he must be banned from the internet. So because of the accusations of Peter Simeti being part of Comicsgate, those dirty bastards, he was tarred and feathered even by his own creators. He had several. By several, I mean like 4.
Retweeting anybody, on either side.
Right.
You're not allowed to be in the middle. I'll tell you a secret, being in the middle, because we're pretty much, we actually are more in the middle. Everybody hates you. I'm just saying.
Everybody hates
you.
You can't make anybody happy. You can't make anybody happy.
Go ahead. Anyway.
So, no comment. I know some Asian Nazis. Well, maybe there are Asian Nazis. I don't know.
I mean, but if they're telling you they're Nazis, and they're probably Nazi. They're just, what I'm saying. But if they're not, they're just things you don't like. It doesn't make. Well,
I don't think he's okay. Well, maybe you've got Asian Nazis, but I can't imagine you have too many Asian white supremacists, because that just seems counter. That's just not really in your best interest, Let's put it that way. So anyway, so they jumped on him. He had some creators leave because, God forbid, you go against the comic book cliques, the comic book clubs. So there were people who were actually they weren't even currently working at Alterna, and they're like, I disavow. It was so ridiculous. It was like freaking like they're pledging allegiance, like, I disavow Comicsgate and everything that Comicsgate stands for, and I prostrate myself before you, anti-comics gators, and I beg you for the crumbs from your
I was like, give me a cookie.
plate. Give me a cookie. Give me a cookie. That's what it came across as. Like, God, you're sad. You're freaking sad. So these people like left and called Peter names, and he was awful. And Peter actually gave a lot of these people, he gave them their first break. One of them went running the comic book resources, which is a freaking dumpster fire.
Yeah, we don't know all the details.
I don't know the details, but there's like legal people involved in all that shit. Anyway, so Peter was very, he was in a very bad place. I mean, he was like, he said he was like borderline suicidal because he had, I mean, he thought this was the end of his business.
When you're getting harassed by everyone.
Right, when you're getting harassed, like actually legitimately harassed by terrible people, yeah, you're gonna take it badly. He kind of disappeared for a couple days, and then he came back last night and he did this live stream, and he basically just spilled his guts, and it was, you know, it was cool to see him. I mean, he was, you know, very, very grateful. I guess retailers stepped up, and people associated with the C word stepped up and bought a bunch of his comics to support him. He sold like what, like 10,000 comics?
He sold earlier, yeah.
In 2 days.
I don't know if he might have done more since then.
I don't know, but he was just like selling comics like crazy. And he was just going on about how, you know, his whole life story and how he got into comics, and it was really touching to watch. I couldn't watch the whole thing. He went on for like 3 hours, but he had like 1,000 people on his stream.
I am concerned for him though a little bit, because
I am concerned.
Being around this for a long time, he really, I mean, understanding where he's coming from, because he has a history with this and stuff, you're really going to have to like get a thicker skin about it though a little bit, because they're going to eat you alive.
They're not going to, you know, I understand what he was trying. I mean, he had this really impassioned video, and he was like, you know, guys, this is what it feels like to be hurt. The problem is
I've been there. I understand where
the
he's coming
people
from.
that are attacking him don't care if you hurt.
You know, and this is what gets me. This is okay. I'm going to have a minute here. This is what gets me. Okay. The people who they're attacking are all attacking because they say you shouldn't bully people based on blah, 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 which I agree. You shouldn't bully people in general. I don't care, you know, by race, gender, sexual orientation, or anything. You should not bully people. It's just a really shitty thing to do. And I am very, very, very anti-bullying. Very anti-bullying. And your message is we shouldn't be bullied because we're this, that, or whatever. I agree with you. You shouldn't be bullied because you're this, that, or whatever. You might be bullied because you're a crappy person, but not because you're this, that, or whatever. But then your response to don't bully us is to bully everybody else. You know, send death threats. Yeah. You know, say you wish everybody be, you know, dead, that it was this or that. I don't like you, so I wish you were dead. I'm gonna, you know, if you better not show up to the show, I'm gonna punch you in the head, and actually punch somebody in the head.
They were making physical threats and all this other garbage.
When you're yelling about how we're defending people because we don't want, they're Nazis because they're bullying us. And if you are bullying somebody based on things like gender, or, you know, race, sexual orientation, religion, or whatever, politics, you're just a shitty person. Yeah. But you can't scream, you can't bully us, you can't pick on us, it's wrong, you're harassing us, it's wrong, and then turn around and harass people. This is called being a hypocrite. This is called, you know, you're acting like little pieces of crap, because you're just like everything you might have stood for, you've lost any possible ground you had on that, any platform you had to speak on it, because your behavior is the antithesis of what you're claiming you want to see. Yeah, the comic, and we had and this is it, like, they don't understand, like, you guys are actually acting like the Nazis. Like, you are literally trying to get books banned. You're trying to keep books from reaching market. You're trying to drive people out of industry for having different beliefs than you. It's not an industry. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a medium. It's a medium. Funny thing. Pseudonym is no longer bullying when you redefine people you're attacking being subhuman bigots who aren't worth consideration based on nothing but assumptions. Right, which goes along with the ass. We're gonna put the ass in assumptions. It also goes along with what I was saying too about when you were in school, and like there was 2 kids being like terrible, and then the whole class got punished for the behavior of 2 kids, and that's what's going on here too now. Yeah. Is like because they're looking at the behavior, and there has been some bad behavior, some things that said that shouldn't have been said. That's happened, and they're taking those examples, which aren't even happening anymore really, and they're labeling everyone based on those examples. Yeah, but meanwhile, if you look at the examples that comic book pros are setting, exactly, which is a freaking dumpster fire. Every day I go to comics Twitter and it's a new
dumpster fire. I hate it. I don't even like going to Twitter anymore. Or I get in and I get out. I say what I want to say and I get out, because it is a dumpster fire of magnanimous proportions. It is like dumpster firezilla, and they're constantly and they're burning their own damn houses down.
But their mind, they're the hero, and no one, even if a lot of times people, when they're being a villain, don't even know that they don't see themselves. They see themselves as the hero.
Yeah,
and it's just like, it depends who you ask, and it's all about perspective. But the thing is like, if people were harassing their friends and calling them names and harassing them based on religion, sexual orientation, gender, etc., they have a right to be upset about that you're harassing my friend. Okay. But their answer isn't just to be, okay, but I'm going to be twice the bigot back. And that's what they're doing. They're bullying and being bigots and then yelling about bigotry. Well, they're like the personification of bigotry.
Yeah, they are. I mean, literally. I mean, they are acting very Nazi-esque. I mean, they are participating literally in book banning. They don't like the Comicsgate books that are coming out. They've tried to destroy the distribution chain, ruin publishing efforts, defame people. They've got their friends in media. It's the same, like 5 or 6 bloggers going from site to site to site.
The thing is, like, the one, like, they started off with the Jawbreakers thing, but they said there was nothing very political in the thing. It was just dumb fun. So what are they blocking? They're blocking something like him. Had nothing to do with the content. You know what I'm saying? They're just blocking to block to prove a point. But I mean, in this day and age, good luck with that, because it's not going to stop
But
anybody.
the way that this is working Nazi-esque. Yeah, I don't know if that's a word, Antoine. I just made that up. I make a lot of stuff up. So
yeah, YouTube fire. My son, actually, it was funny. Squid King was like, "Mom, don't read the comments. Don't ever read the comments." And then he hasn't been reading the comments because he was too upset.
But he was just looking at the downvotes, and
he was so upset.
But yeah, I mean, and this is the thing we talked about. We talked about the fear of disruption in comics. Like, there's so many people embedded in comics on different levels, from the publishing end, from the sales end, the creators, the journalists, that they're all like actively trying to, well, there goes a big truck. They're all actively trying to keep certain people out of comics, to create this like homogenous small industry that's safe for them.
Well, basically, it's comics is for everyone except for people we don't like.
Pretty much.
And the thing is, and they're labeling whole groups of people based on the behavior they didn't like on a couple people, but they're just making assumptions about everybody, because if you think that comics shouldn't be too political, well, obviously you are, everything that this person that we talking about did bad, you're that person too. And that's not true. I think everybody is not, it's not black and white. People, there's a lot of gray. Everybody's made up a lot of gray. And I think just judging everybody on black and white is not fair.
Yeah.
You're not even listening. You're reading.
No, I am. I'm trying to. There's like so many comments here, but yeah, they are what they claim to hate, and you become what you claim to hate. And so, we talked the other night when Aaron was on, and we were talking about what makes a good villain, and basically, the best villains actually think they're the hero, and you have these people in comics that really truly think they are the good guys. They will tell you they are the good guys, but they basically think the ends justify the means, and for them the complete like squashing of this little rebellion is really what they want. I mean, really, at the end of it, it's like, no, you want power, you want complete control over who gets to make comics and who gets to buy comics and what those comics are about.
Even if you have control over who gets to make them, you don't get to control who buys them. You can't make people buy your stuff. And I think they just need to dial it back on, I think they need to dial it back to be more about entertainment, less about agenda. But, but by saying that, I'm not bashing anybody based on, religion, gender, sexual orientation. I'm just saying, hey, you might sell more books if it was, you had mass appeal and didn't just, niche yourself so much. What was I going to show you was when somebody said something, I was going to read it to you, and I can't remember. Oh, this part, yeah.
Right here? Mm-hmm. Those stores were discussing ordering and canceling orders, so the book would be overprinted and the publisher would take a loss.
Here's the thing: a lot of these publishers that are the acceptable people, they deliberately buy their own books. They'll send them to the stores and then buy them, and then buy their own books, and then they'll end up in a discount bin at like Ollie's or something, because they were trying to artificially inflate sales. So I just call that move as a karma move, because they do it all the time themselves.
They do. We have friends that were editors. They worked in the distribution end of comics. And I'm telling you, yeah, they absolutely do fudge their numbers. It's all a shell game. I mean, the reality is, my personal opinion, based on the data I have, is that the comic book industry is actually in worse shape than they're letting on. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, he
is awesome.
He actually is hilarious.
He is
My
a
God.
smart
And you guys,
kid.
when you get to watch him on here, you're lucky because when he's on camera and there's someone watching him, he's like so shy he won't do anything.
Yeah.
But when it's just his voice, he's allowed to do whatever. He'll be himself. And the kids, hilarious. We got this video. We have to put it up. And he's like, you want to see my duck call? And he does this redneck thing, and he's like, okay, I can't even do it. But he does like, want to see my duck call? And he makes this big thing about putting his hands in front of his mouth. He's in a duck call, and he's like, hey, ducks, it's me, your boy.
He's a funny
He's
kid.
hilarious.
Vox Day thing, yeah, that, God, freaking, I can't.
You know, that might be a blessing in disguise, though. If he's gonna take the Comicsgate thing,
Comicsgate is a trash name for whatever
right,
this is.
and everybody's
it's not
associating
a
that.
good
So
name
find a new
for whatever
hashtag,
this
and then
is.
everybody's talking about that. They'll think of him, and start a new hashtag. So it might actually not be that bad of a thing for you.
Vox Day is a
I know he is, but I'm just saying.
shit piece. Okay, so yeah, the Nasser got CB Zabolski on the phone. Oh wow, how'd that happen? He got mad defending the use of block bots and hung up. He's gonna be out of a job soon, I think. He's ineffective. And I was actually defending the guy. I was like, yeah, he's really cool.
If you're really legitimately being picked on by people, I can see blocking people or muting them. If you're legitimately being picked on, I can see it. But this whole idea of just blocking people because people told you to without even looking at these people yourself, or even friends that you know they're friends, you know them, I think is just garbage. If someone's picking on you, then yes, by all means, block them.
They don't seem to understand that the internet and free market gives everyone unlimited channels to work around their establishment. They don't understand this. The comic book industry has a really hard time with progress. They always have. Again, us having done webcomics for years, like, they do not like disruption. And this is the biggest disruption they've had in recent memory, and they're freaking the hell out. Like, the whole system is freaking out. Oh, thank you.
He is very articulate. He's very smart.
Your son's very articulate. Older he is. Yeah, he just turned 15.
He's actually very good at writing. Very good at writing. And of course, he's all down on himself all the time. But he is very good at writing. And I won't be surprised if he ends up writing some stuff. We keep trying to get him to do it. And, he has these amazing ideas, and he doesn't actually do it. So,
yeah, he does. He needs confidence. He's, and he's actually a smart kid too, because I remember him coming to us when he was in second grade. He's like, and this is weird. I mean, for a second grader, he was like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, yeah, my teachers, they're all like calling on the girls and telling the girls, about how awesome they are, but like the boys in the class, they're not really working with us at all." And
he did.
I was like, this is a second grader with no preconceived notions about any of this stuff.
I think that was more middle school, because his elementary, his elementary,
like second grade.
Our middle school started in 4th grade, but his elementary teachers, actually, I know 1st and 2nd and 3rd were really good. So I don't think that was the case.
Hey, it's Rage and Ray. How you doing? So yeah, this is just like, it's just crazy the links they're going to. And I think what we're concerned about, because I think Peter Simeti is an awesome guy. I don't know if he fully realizes, and I know in that chat, I was actually in that chat last night, and I know that it seemed like Ethan Van Sciver was even kind of like, dude, this is going to get, like, shit's going to get real. And I don't know if Peter fully understands, like, how much these people are, because he's got a huge target painted on him because, he's successful. Basically, he's successful, and he's telling them no. And I just don't know if he really, and so he's definitely going to need some backup. But
the irony of the whole thing, like, we hate bullies as we enact any bullying to the extreme and worse than anything that's ever been thrown at them. It just irritates me a lot. And we're sitting from the middle watching this, and we're just like, yeah, there were some things said on the right that shouldn't have been said, and I admit that. But there's been a lot more behavior on the left that's been like, oh my God, why would you ever think that's okay? Yeah. And just from people in the middle watching this whole thing, I'm like, what the heck,
But the thing that makes me really angry about this is you're not allowed. They will not let you not pick a side. Basically, if you're not 100% with them, you're their enemy. That's how they view this. It's psychotic.
I've never seen like it. It's just like, like I said, it's all black and white. There's no gray area, and it's crazy. But confidence is hard. I'm actually, you wouldn't believe it, but I'm actually incredibly shy. So when I'm on here, I'm much, I'll talk, but like in real,
she actually is. I usually do.
I'm like, I'm on the wall, like, don't notice me.
I
I'm
actually,
not here.
I actually do most of the talking. I'm worse in person than I am on here. I am actually. I am like I can be very grumpy.
I hope he becomes a great writer. Tristan.
I think he will.
Or sorry,
I think
Squid King.
Squid
His
King.
name's on there
That's
anyway.
okay.
But go ahead. What else do we have on here?
I don't know. I think that's pretty much our list of dumpster fires for tonight.
Public education system. We actually put our kids in cyber school because well, there was all the shootings and stuff.
Well, our school in particular had one warning too many.
Yeah, they constantly were having like these
out.
alerts. I mean, our kid was calling us from the cafeteria in a study hall, and this is before all the stuff happened in Florida and stuff.
Yeah.
Calling us from a study hall and talking about how they had him on this like weird lockdown, and he was gotten his phone. And when you talk to one secretary, she's like, "Well, he's not supposed to be on his phone." I'm like, "Whoa, he's on his phone because he's scared." And other kids were calling their parents too, and then the fact that we do travel a lot, so we just put him in. We just took him out of there. So, and he's doing better now. So.
He's doing better. The Axe Cop guy, I know I
saw that.
They're vicious, and he was like one of like quote unquote them like for the longest time. Axe Cop was
He still is. All he was saying was, I mean, he is, but he isn't. You know, he's like us, where he's in the middle. All he's saying was,
you're not allowed to be.
You can't.
I mean, I'm sorry.
You know,
but
there's
they
good
won't let
people.
you, yeah.
I mean, everything that comes out of them is like, well, they're all homophobes, Nazis, racists, and everything else, and then they're based on what? Based on what? And you can't answer that. And that's what I'm just like, and I'm sure there are people who behave that way. I am, but that's like maybe like 0.5% of the people, 1% of the people, maybe. You know what I mean? It's like stop, basing everyone on the actions of the people on the fringe.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to answer. Yeah, and that's just it. Like, and even then, like, what actually goes down and what they say goes down sometimes are two different things. Do you think the comic industry is healthy enough to survive competition from the manga industry? Manga's become more and more popular. I think manga's gonna outlive the American comic book industry for sure. I mean, the American comic book industry could fold tomorrow, and Japan would still have a booming manga industry, and they probably would still bring it out over here. That's personal opinion. Peter seems like total sweetheart who wants the best for everyone. Yes, he does.
I think so.
And wants to believe the best in everyone. He does.
Yeah.
If people were receptive, he could build bridges. Big if. That's the problem.
The thing.
That's kind of like I think he can also have his heart broken.
He's trying very hard to try to save comic shops and everything else, and and it's just.
He wants the best, but he's dealing with people who can't be, I think, honestly can't be reasoned with.
Yeah.
And this is true. What Peter was describing last night was the experience of being excommunicated and shunned by a cult. Yes, it sounded like a Leah Remini in Scientology. It is. The comic book industry now, as we talked about before, the SJWs that are in charge, it basically is cult-like. You are kind of indoctrinated. You're brought in. You're surrounded by people. And we know because we were in it. You're surrounded by like-minded people. You're encouraged to stay away from certain people, talk to other people. You only get gigs if you know the right people. If you've been vetted, you sort of work your way up by knowing the right people and being vetted. And then if you leave or you speak out of turn, there is hell to pay. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that.
He's reading through, guys. Sorry.
I'm trying to, yeah. He thinks these people have personal beefs with him. No, Peter. That's what kind of broke my heart watching that. And Peter is a great guy. He's a great guy. But I don't know if he understands fully what he's dealing with. I'm hoping somebody like Ethan Van Sciver kind of pulls him up aside and says, "Hey, dude, this is going to be a lot worse than you think it is."
But the good news is he's got a lot of support too, though, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, he does have a support system. Huge support. I mean, 1,000 people.
No, I don't think we're going to New York this time.
I haven't been to New York in like 5 years.
No.
You can't walk. You can't walk there. It's not
I would not do well there. I'd be like, stop touching me! Stop touching me! Someone would die. It would be bad.
A Job Rutgers cartoon would basically be JoJo. Probably. The comics industry failed before it can fail again. It is failing. It is failing. Do you think Americans should start to follow their example? Excuse me. As far as genres are broken up in order to achieve mass appeal, I think they need. I think the big key here is the comic book industry needs to start making comics that have mass appeal again. And it's really hard to have mass appeal when you're creating comics for niches, right? I mean, we've talked about that before.
I think people are so busy focusing on you can niche yourself into oblivion. I mean, and I think that's what happens. Yeah. I mean, I think mass appeal is a better way to go. People don't seem to understand that. They used to, and now they don't.
This is true. Pseudonym. I honestly believe that there are more people who are acting out of fear rather than true belief. Yes.
Well, that's what somebody else said about fear. And that's what
Yes.
it is. It's controlled by fear. Is what it is. It's controlled by fear. If you don't do what we say, you will be out of the club. And we will make sure that your books aren't carried and that you are not allowed to come to conventions.
Right.
And all this other stuff, which the legality of some of the stuff that's being done, I question strongly.
Yeah, and I do. Yeah, you see how they're trying to blacklist anyone who has anything to do
and
with.
I would think that's discrimination.
Comicsgate.
And I think I'm waiting for the legality to come out. The more and more lawsuits are going to start coming because, you cannot shun somebody from a convention or an industry because they're insert your race, gender, whatever, your sexual orientation here, because you can't do that because you'd be discriminating. But because we don't like you because we think you're too conservative, we're going to discriminate against you, and that's not, no, you can't really do that.
Yeah, same thing is happening in animation. I think comics, though, I think it's more, I will be honest, there seems to be a little more actual diversity in animation as far as creators' beliefs, and even in Hollywood, than there is in comics. Comics somehow just got very, very weird and very, very cult-like.
Yeah, I don't know,
and we know, weird. I mean, we have friends that we worked off and on comics for years, and it's a very weird.
I like Ranma.
It's a very
Ranma came out today, there would be
weird.
mass aneurysms, probably. They wouldn't know what to do. They're like, oh my god.
Yeah, but as far as people acting out of fear, yeah.
It is. It's controlled by fear.
There are people who come to us behind it, like, we're not going to name names, but they're like, they know they have to, they got to toe the line or they're not going to have work. I think this is the reason why you see so many people do these 180s on social media, because they know if they don't toe the line, you're some 55-year-old dude.
To not be associated with that, even if I'm,
Right. Because where else am I going to go? I've made comics my whole life. I'm in my mid-50s. I don't have a lot of career options, and they're going to shit can me and block me from comics. I better say, yep, say hail, because that's basically what they're asking you to do. I denounce Comicsgate and all of its, its forms, and pledge allegiance to the comic book club of Portland and New York City. Yeah. Pledge allegiance to the Comics Club of New York and Portland. So yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but
I like gender. I actually have a storyline. It's a kind of like a gender swapping thing, and it's really funny actually. So we have
a lot of ideas. Now we're actually, we're talking.
It's like one of my favorite Shakespeare things.
Yeah.
And it's not like swapping, but you know what I mean. I like 12th Night. It's my favorite.
Anyway. Yeah, they haven't. So, I will be honest, so far we haven't been bothered too much.
Great. Let's jinx it.
No, I'm not jinxing it, but I'm also like, I have a reputation too. So.
We had a reputation before this, actually.
For being difficult.
Well, not difficult. We always got in trouble because we were too honest. People don't want to hear us. They'd rather, the people that are always popular, the people that would be like, gosh darn it, everybody likes you, and you're so, if you would just do this, this, and this, you're going to be famous, and you need, you're good enough, you're smart enough, those people, and we're always like, bullshit, it's like, not all, things are negative, not all critiques are negative, not all this and that, you're full of crap. Well, how, we don't want to hear that, so we hate you. So,
and it's like, fuck you and your singing horse.
Yeah, so we get
fuck you and the singing horse you wrote in
trouble all the time anyway, because we are like, you're too honest.
Yeah, I'm very difficult. Guys, is there a chance to see you on a channel like Geeks and Gamers? If we would be invited by Jeremy, I would consider it. We've had a run-in with some of his followers. They didn't like that we like Solo. But I have nothing against Jeremy personally. I don't watch his videos too much now, though. I got bored of Star Wars. They went after Billy Tucci. Yeah, I believe that. I completely believe that. How long until SJW start mobbing and calling you comic stars? Too late!
They are.
That's how we got into it. I'll tell you the truth. And I don't consider us...
times.
Yeah, well,
we're actually
we got people
in the middle more than
I don't
anything.
consider us Comicsgate. I don't consider us Comicsgate. We still have friends in comics and whatever, but we sort of got lumped in with the Badniks because I did a kind of an expose on Marvel's sales numbers for a Disney blog as someone who'd worked in comics, and I was just kind of like, man, this isn't looking good for Marvel. That is all it took to get them pissed off, and they were all gossiping and talking about us on Twitter and Facebook.
Knew.
And my people I actually worked with in comics started blocking me.
Friends we knew in person who you got gigs for.
Yeah, I've actually gotten work for in comics that know me, that know. And the thing is, the truth, and we said multiple times, like, we usually vote Democrat. you know, we're
Actually,
not.
I just look at candidates and decide. But yeah, usually.
Yeah, usually. I mean, we're independents. Tend to lean left. They know us personally. Like I've worked with, but yeah, people we've actually gotten work for were actually blocking us on Twitter and following us on Facebook. I'm like, fuck you guys.
Yeah,
You know,
like,
I mean, seriously, you know us. Like, screw you.
We really, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. And the thing is, normally, and what gets me is normally, like I said, when I say I'm anti-bullying, I mean, if there's somebody getting picked on, I'll be like the first one in there, like, oh hell, you didn't. And so for me, it's like usually my inclination is to be like, you know, oh, they're being picked on because they're, you know, this or that and everything else, and that's bullshit. I'm going to go defend them. And that's how I usually am. But there's sometimes there's a behavior that's not defendable. And, you know, and it's like, you know, it's just, you know, you could take it too far. And I think that's what's going on. A lot of places it's taken too far.
Dymo, there's a forum where people are shitting on Geeky already, but no one will give me a link.
Oh, that's okay.
We know where that forum is, and we
do?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if that's it or not.
Yeah.
Well, all I have to say is hugs and kisses. Hugs and kisses. I don't think that's the one, but hugs and kisses.
Trying to attack you. Yeah, we know exactly. Yep, we know who they are. We know who they are, and yeah. So, no, she just kept getting a bad relationship.
Well, I know one is, but I think they're talking about something different. But anyway,
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
You know, whatever. I don't care.
Whatever.
This is me caring.
Infiltrate the fence. Can't wait until SJWs infiltrate the fence business so we can have Gate. I want Gate.
I want Gate too. That's funny.
Yeah, in times of crisis, you know who becomes your enemy and who stays by. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, here's the thing. And a lot of the people, some of the people that followed me were actually, I'll tell you the truth, were actually people who had book deals with Peter, and they threw him under the bus too. So the one person in particular threw Peter under the bus publicly, put up a statement. We've known this person for years. This person suddenly unfollowed me like a month or two ago. I never did anything to him. We've actually go way back. Like we've talked, you know, and I was just very, very disappointed. And then I saw how he treated Treater. Can you treater? Treated Peter, and I was like, wow, that's gratitude. Oh, hey, thanks. Yeah, we try to make comics sometimes.
Thank you, Jessica.
I actually put this out there as a surprise. Like, I don't think people realize we actually work in comics. Oh my God, look at that. Duck books. Woohoo. Yeah, I'll never be called by Fantagraphics again, ever. Now, but yeah,
you already know the person that was your editor already.
Yeah, he already
you.
unfollowed me. Yeah, my editor.
Okay. Actually, it was funny because Yuri told him to get bent before that for other reasons.
Well, I didn't really tell him to get bent. I just sort of parted
yeah,
ways.
you kind of told him to get bent.
Well, okay.
But...
So yeah, I have been unfollowed by people I've actually worked with on the Disney comics in recent months. But I was kind of proud of this. I had fun working on it. I retouched and colored a lot of Don Rosa's stuff. Mostly I work on duck books, so that was pretty cool. And look, Geeky paints.
Yeah. That was the first time I ever did digital anything completely.
I think it's good.
My lines are shaky as crap. It's okay. It's not the best. But anyway.
When did normal liberals start going insane? I don't know if they ever, the people who are going insane, I don't know if they ever were normal. I think they were sort of latent, like there was some dormant weirdness inside.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Because it's like, you know, I don't know. I have no words. And I'm like, and what gets me is like, when you compare ideologies and you compare what people stand for, most of it is overlap and it's an agreement. And then there's taking the extremes that aren't agreement, and then they're, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like most of it, you can find lots of common ground. There's lots of common ground. Like they don't want the comic industry to fail. We don't want the comic industry to fail. I wouldn't say we, but you know, I'm saying both sides. We don't want it either.
We basically left comics because it was failing.
I know. What are you going to do to us? And the thing is, it's like, you know, they don't want comic shops to fail. The other side doesn't want comic shops to fail. You know, they want more readers. Both sides. It's like there's so much common ground. It's ridiculous.
Everybody needs
to focus on like what the difference is. And it's like, well, maybe if you stop fighting, they could salvage the industry. I'm just saying.
Do you know any successful webcomic artists and making actual money? Once upon a time, we did. We actually made pretty decent money. I do know. I don't think it's so much the case now. I do know some people who are making pretty good money doing webcomics, but either they diversified, they went into other stuff, or the webcomic was just part of their business model. Like you look at Penny Arcade, and the webcomic is probably the least profitable part of what they do. They're basically a gaming blog. And then some other folks like Cyanide Happiness went into animation. Other people went into gaming.
Yeah, they diversify.
It used to be that the ad revenue was there that you actually could make, but now you have to beg basically.
Or you do really good on like Indiegogo or Kickstarter if you're allowed on Kickstarter. Yeah. But yeah, people do make money off it. I think it's just you have to do it differently now than you used to have to do it before. It's just you have to think of, new and different ways.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. I think people they'd rather see the industry die than have one that they can't micromanage, and that's what's really sad.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't understand why. I just can't see why it came to this. I just cannot wrap my head around it. But yeah, we always joke, if you want to make money on Patreon, do porn. It's like everybody knows this. It's like if you want to make money on Patreon, you draw not safe for work stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of the in joke. It's basically like there are people like as soon as I see if they get like $5,000 to $10,000 a month on Patreon, I'm like, what are they drawing?
Yeah,
I know what they're drawing. They're drawing furry porn.
Pretty much.
I know you are. But then the flip side is if you can make $5,000 to $10,000 a month drawing furry porn, and that's more money than like a lawyer would make.
No, yeah.
It's like why?
More power to you. More power to you. So I don't have to begrudge him for making money.
I was surprised how much furry porn makes. Yeah, I know we're in the wrong business. Like kids, you got to eat. I got to go draw whatever the hell I got told I had to draw today.
Yeah, oh god,
like, I'm not even sure what I'm
came
drawing.
In on that one. Isn't Patreon going to ban porn?
Probably
heard
not.
that before though. I heard that before they were going to start cracking down.
They were supposed to. I think they were
lose too much money.
Yeah, I think Patreon would probably lose like 3/4 of its business. I mean, seriously, it is. Patreon is. It's. I really think it's. I really think it's in the picture of dirt, or it's in the business of dirty pictures. But I think they're just sort of masking it as, yes, we're helping creators. We just won't tell you what kind of content they're actually making, but they're making.
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, but all I kept thinking is, was it Squid King that used to say about Appa? He'd be like, Appa yif yif.
Appa! Oh my God, Squid King! Yeah, Squid King.
He knew what it meant.
Squid King. This is how funny this kid is. When he was like 12, he's like,
oh,
okay.
The thing is, he didn't learn what it meant from us. He was very progressive at school.
He's like, this is my version of Tumblr for Avatar. Appa yif yif.
We're like, and after we stopped laughing, we're like, wait, where'd you hear that? Where'd you learn what yif meant? Anyway,
oh god, no! I don't.
Stuff coming out of Pinky Boo when we were doing the drawful. I'm like, what? It's like I'm not as bad as mom. I swear to God, I'm not.
The low rent independent documentary about how this 5 years down the line is going to be really weird. Richard's either going to be seen as an industry hero or Darth Vader,
probably,
or both. Because technically, Darth Vader was the hero of Star Wars. He just. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be seen. I would like to think that one, there's going to be an industry in 5 years. And here's the thing too, like people, now I'm going to go on the record saying I actually will give Mags Visaggio some credit. Mags Visaggio said some stuff on Twitter the other day. Well, one, Mags Visaggio came to the defense of Betty Breitweiser, said to stop harassing her. And I think he came to, I'm trying to think, was it, Alterna. She came to the defense of Peter Simeti, too. She came to the defense of Peter Simeti and said,
just like he's not in a good place, and
leave him alone. Mental health is
nothing to mess with,
right?
And then admitted admitted he said some. I say she said some things that she shouldn't have said. And you got me confused. You're talking about Peter and everything else. Okay. I'm trying to keep up with you. She said some things that she should not have said, and that it was that. At the time something happened and they were really upset about it, and that they said things that they should have said, which happens to everyone. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that I've said things I shouldn't have said.
Yeah,
I've said things about where men's faces belong, which was not what I meant.
Okay,
so
I guess where I'm going with the Mags Visaggio was Mags said something about maybe we should try to understand what caused the quote-unquote enemy.
Nowhere, yeah.
This did not come from nowhere,
which I was surprised by,
and I was very surprised by that, and that actually gives me I guess a little kernel of hope here, because I think what has happened, angry mobs don't pop up overnight.
That's basically
and the thing with diversity in comics with Richard is he basically lit the match,
he just shined the light on it, yeah.
But the powder keg was already there. The fans were already upset. The retailers were already upset. He was just the guy that came along and threw the match's on the powder keg.
All the time.
And that's why, but the thing is that, the comic book industry has to ask itself, he's got 80, 90,000 subscribers. Like those people, that's 80 or 1,000, 80 or 90,000 like really pissed off consumers, potential consumers. How did it get so bad that he could build up a base of followers in such a short amount of time? And at that point, you have to kind of look in the mirror and be like, oh yeah, maybe it is something we did. Maybe we made people angry. Maybe we didn't handle this correctly. Maybe it's us. And I don't know if the comic book industry can honestly take a good look at itself and do that. Mags is playing us, like play progressives.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know, but I'm just saying. I will give credit there for making the comments, tell people to back off Peter, and back off, other people. I whether or not they are playing or not, we don't know. But I'm just saying I will give them credit for at least trying to say something. I look at it is if people come to you and they're talking to you, I might not trust you, but I will give you at least the credit for coming and talking to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to probably trust you again anytime soon, but I give you credit. Like, I'm not going to say that, this, that, and everything else, but I will respect that somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the thing is with Mags, again, I just happened to see the tweets the other day. I don't even think I follow Mags, but I saw the tweets the other day. Somebody else retweeted them, and Mags did not get a lot of likes on those tweets.
Actually, yeah, Mags did. Mags said about the comment about the ball bat comment. Someone brought that up, and then Mags said that that was when they had the one legislation thing that went down or whatever about the military, I think, and that they were having a bad day and they were really upset and they should never have said it, but they said it, and that they shouldn't. They totally, she said that she understands that she shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, no, I believe. I think
someone brought that up.
I think because Mags is trying to go. I believe she got a publishing deal with mainstream publisher, and I think that this stuff in comics, especially, like you really have to watch. You don't
want stuff to butt you in the ass later.
I think that's what it is. I think Mags is like, I can't.
I think it's more about trying to protect yourself later.
Have this follow me around, but I will give Mags props. If Mags did not put that out there, Mags could have just stayed silent about it and just gone along with the mob, considering, she's kind of at ground zero of a lot of the stuff going on right now. But she stuck her neck out for Betty Breitweiser, and she stuck her neck out for Peter Smetty. And, that's actually going to bite her, too, because I guarantee you that they're all over in the background.
Right.
But,
when you're in because you turn or perceived as turning, that's when you get in trouble. I just will give credit where credit's due, because whether or not it's going to be an ongoing thing, whether or not, I'm one of those people who you just show me that you're changed. I'm not going to believe you just because you said something. Yeah. But I will give credit where credit's due that they actually tried to say something. Yeah. And because if
everybody would just calm the fuck down and sit down, I would love to see.
I'd be afraid.
Well, no, I would love to see like let's let's get some delegates from both sides here, and let's get some retailers and some YouTubers,
but not Christian porn,
and some Comicsgate people, and let's get some industry people, and let's get like a round table at one of these conventions and just sit the hell down for like 2 or 3 hours and talk about it. And I think you might actually be able to find more common ground.
Well, there already is common ground. They just don't want to see the common ground.
They don't want to see it.
It'd be a good way to protect yourself. Yeah, not being constant. Yeah, it's deliberate ass that goes out of your way to pick on fights. I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
But I also know that sometimes people say things that were stupid because it's the internet and people are always saying things. I say stupid things all the time, and I don't mean to. It just comes out. And, and saying something on the internet can bite you for a long time.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, so just to answer some of these, because there's like, wow, okay. How's your father? So what line of work would you recommend to a young, talented artist besides Patreon porn, animation, and game development? Comics, or if you do comics on the side. If comics make a big comeback, then...
Well, no, you can do comics, but you have to have another job. I mean, don't make it your day job.
Yeah, it's like gaming industry microtransaction. How gamers and lawmakers are sick of it. Yes, it is. Mags found a new, more stable job in less psychotic industry. Mags has actually got a publishing deal with a major publisher now. I think Mags...
Yeah, but they don't pay much.
They don't really pay that much, but it is more respectable than the indie comics she's been working on. So I think maybe, you know, there might have been some suggestions to be like, you know, maybe you should be a little nicer because this is going to follow you around if you're not.
No, if we're saying Kumbaya, we're defeating the enemies on Adventure Time. But that's another story.
Zach has apologized for things he said.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's good.
And we brought that up too.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, because I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. When I first started seeing the stuff that he was saying, I was like, some of the stuff I think he crossed the line on. I'm just going to flat out say I think he crossed the line multiple times. But unfortunately, not everybody's getting labeled as these things because of some stuff he said. Well, but he has apologized.
He did apologize for the dark roast, which I guess was a big...
Which I didn't see.
I've never seen it, but I heard it was
and I will give... But I will
pretty
give,
bad.
But again, that's another person I'll give props to because I said something stupid. I admit it, and I'm sorry. And that's what I'm saying. Anybody who has the, you know, the guts to come forth and say, I shouldn't have said this, and I am sorry for that.
Well, plus two, I mean, now...
I will give completely props to.
That he's crossed over from being a critic to a creator, you know, it's kind of like not cool to rag on, you know, fellow creators too much. I mean, if they're being complete asses in public, then
he said the same thing I did. You're supposed to sing about. I didn't even read your comment pseudonym, but yeah, exactly. That's how we defeat the enemy. We all have to sing in harmony, guys.
Yeah, it would be a good way to protect yourself. Don't be an ass. We're not talking about the Shiro lady. We're talking about Mags Visaggio, who is a trans creator. Worked on a bunch of different books. Said last year that she wanted to hit cis people with a ball bat. Has since apologized and actually came to the defense of Betty Breitweiser and Peter Samedi, which I thought was damn decent.
You've been there, when you've been there and you've had to deal with being bullied and you've had to deal with, you know, having emotional states and you know things like that, you're going to be more. You might step in because you might be like, whoa, this is getting out of hand. No one's mental health, you know, should be at risk. Yes, we did say Christian porn.
There is such a thing.
It was a joke. It was from another episode. There was such a thing as Christian porn. So,
you want to watch the dark roast? I've never seen the dark roast. This is like this.
I don't think
whatever.
I will probably get mad.
I have heard about it, but it was an attempt at humor that fell flat, and some folks got a hold of it and basically used it as blackmail.
Never heard it. I don't want to hear
basically
it.
Blackmail material. Was blackmail material for diversity in comics.
Because I'm sure he regrets that.
Yeah. I think he regrets multiple levels. I can't see Zach crying on camera.
I can't see him either.
Diversity in Comics will be over 100,000. I believe it. Bye. Have a good night. You too. Goodbye. Yeah, Dark Roast, I have never seen it. It was lame. I heard it was lame. Something changed Mag's mind.
I think it's just a matter. I don't think it's just a matter of something that you know she related to. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are being harassed and the state of you know, when you're mentally having trouble with suicide and being worried about your emotional mental state, I think that's something that she probably related to.
I think, you know, I kind of...
probably Ray was going to bite her in the ass later.
I think that, I really think that there are some people who are out there that are doing this, you know, quote-unquote virtue signaling who maybe aren't completely on board with this. I think they're maybe looking, they're you know, seriously looking around and watching the comic book industry burn itself down. They know they're on the wrong side. You know, they might be on the right side of history, but they're on the wrong side of consumers at this point. They know it's going to hurt their career.
Yeah, it could be more about saving their own ass.
Because,
saying.
yeah, you burn your own house down. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are, what you're pushing for in comics. If there's no comic book industry left, there are no you're not making comics either. So, you know,
I know. It was like an apology to slap. I would admit that. I mean, I get those a lot myself. You know, hey, I'm sorry about this, but let me tell you how wrong you are. One of the churches in my area made an autumn corn maze to help heal people of their porn addictions. What? How does that even work?
What?
You know, I used to be addicted to porn, but then I went to the corn maze. I went to Jesus' corn maze and I'm healed.
I had a really dirty joke in my head, and I'm not gonna.
I want to know what it was.
I had involved an ear of corn and finding Sally and the lost in the maze with an ear of corn. But anyway, I don't know. It's not funny, so I'm not gonna mention it. We don't want to turn this into the dark roast or anything. Zach is considered mild by internet standards. Yeah, actually,
he is. But
overall,
sometimes I'll be honest.
Is.
There was times I was even like, we really are like centrist, and I am one of those people that if I think someone is getting picked on, I'll be the first one there to like, meow. And sometimes I thought he did go too far, and I was even like, whoa, you had me until there. And then I was like, that was too far. But
yeah, I mean, it's everybody says things that they, you know, and I think with. Again, you know, with him publishing comics now, I think being a businessman, you got to kind of be like, you know,
No, we didn't meet. We're not meeting kids in the cornfield.
They can't watch. No, this is. Did you meet the kids in the corn? No, we did not. They're going to be on the wrong side of the housed and homeless. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
This is true. This, and I'm wondering, I really think, what point is it going to sink in for these people that you're burning your own house down, and all it's going to take for you to be on the right side of the is to be nice.
Well, you know what it reminds me
of? Be nicer.
You know what this whole thing reminds me of? You ever watch those soap operas? And it's like this one person. I'll do this story. There was this one thing. It was called the Psycho Test. I'll read it.
Yeah.
I actually passed it. See if any of you would do. And this I'll make sense in a minute. So there's this woman's aunt dies, and they go to the funeral, and she meets this really, really, really incredibly incredible guy. Loves this guy. Thinks that he could be the one. And like a week later, she like kills her, cousin. And they were like, why would she kill her cousin? And everybody's like, oh, because her cousin liked the guy too, or she was the cousin was the guy's girlfriend or whatever. No, she killed the cousin because then there'd be another funeral and it was related to the mom, so the guy would come back and she could find out who the guy was. That's why she killed the cousin. Which of course I got that right away, and apparently that means I'm psycho. Anyway, my point is,
I couldn't figure it out.
My point is, it's like those soap operas are like that, where in the soap operas these women think, oh, if I kill the other girl, he's gonna love me. And I think that's what's going on here. Is like I'm seeing these $600,000 crowdfunding campaigns, and I'm mad and jealous because I'm like, why aren't we getting $600,000? So if we stop them and we stop them from getting to market, we stop them here, we stop them there, then all that money is going to come to us. And it's not going to work like it's like the soap opera. They're not going to love you because you killed the other woman. It's like it's the same thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's
sorry. That was really roundabout way of saying that.
No. But I think that's actually like in some, because I have literally heard indie comics creators, they refer to superhero comics as like cape comics, and they really truly think. I've had conversations with people that think that if Marvel and DC went under tomorrow, that the indie comic scene, that their weird indie slice of life comics or whatever would pick up the slack for that. It's like, no, people buy your indie stuff because they're already in the shop buying Marvel and DC. You take Marvel and DC away, there's no more comic book industry, at least not the way that it is now. They're not coming to the stores. They're not going to see your stuff sitting on the shelf next to, Spider-Man. They're not going to pick it up. But they honestly think, well, that's more for us.
Right. If we get rid of them and block them, then all that money is going to come back to us. And that might not be the case. It could be that people backed because they like the person. People could have backed because they like the concept. People could have backed for a number of reasons that might not apply to you. But that's what it reminds me of is like a soap opera, is where the girl's jealous because the guy likes somebody else, but they have it in their head, well, if I kill her, he's gonna love me. Yeah. And it's like, no, he's not gonna love you. So anyway,
yeah, it's crazy. It's just and I think that's what it is. I think they think that if they like kill off these creators and these fans, like the careers, that money's gonna go to them. And actually the opposite is going to happen, guys. If you're listening out there, the opposite is going to happen. If you take out these creators who have made this connection with this massive fan base, the backlash will be so severe. It will be so severe. That actually could kill the comic book industry. They're just going to go buy other things. They're going to go spend their money on manga or books or TV shows or DVD box sets or whatever the heck they want to watch for entertainment, instead of giving it to the people that they are going to blame for whatever. But we are going to have to wrap this up. I was just okay.
The kids have to go to school tomorrow. Well, they do it at home, but they still have to get up.
It's exactly it. It's like killing PewDiePie, get more views. Yeah, you take PewDiePie off YouTube, it's not going to, you're not going to make another PewDiePie. I think those views would just sort of organically disperse amongst the millions of YouTubers, and you're not going to have another PewDiePie.
Anyway, that was my analogy for
that. That is a good analogy. They really, I think that might be what, it's the crab. Yeah, it's the crabs. Anyway,
it's crabs. They got crabs.
They got crabs. So,
we always say the crabs in the barrel mentality. Yeah, that's what we always call it.
She-Ra the musical is coming your way.
It's a rumor.
She-Ra was singing horses.
Songs.
And Dragon Prince. Yay! Super excited about Dragon Prince. Looking forward to this. And Adventure Time, the finale was weak. It was weak, and we stand by that.
And poor Squid King got harassed for it.
Yeah, poor Squid King got harassed. But you know what? He's allowed.
People were downvoting it just to be jerks.
Yeah. Oh, geez, McKinney, keep giving us money. Why do you keep giving us money? You don't have to do that. Just say something, and we'll get back to you. But thank you. I think what seems sadder is most of the vocal fringies not being aware of how much damage they cause, and that even with their own circles, they're the most hated. Tess Fowler is a shining example.
Yeah, I have not heard good things.
You got jumped, and I'm not gonna say who.
No, don't say who.
But you got jumped by one of that circle on a webcomic board. It had absolutely nothing to do with her, but somehow. She tracked you down because you said...
No, she saw my comment to somebody else. I was saying, they were talking about
This is before we were doing videos.
They were talking about how, well, they're just these constant people harassing people and everything else and how bad they were. And I was like, but the flip side is, you know, I said my husband got called Nazi, outright Nazi and stuff because he just said this and that. So it's actually bad behavior on both sides. And the one person came and they were going to argue with me and they were going to try to smack me down, but it's okay. I shut them up quickly.
Yeah, you're not even.
You're like disengage.
I was like, oh my god, she's going to go full geeky on this person, and then it's going to be all over Twitter.
He's like to me, don't do it. I know this person. Disengage.
Yeah,
I looked at him. I actually said, "Have you met me?" And then I was like. And I did. I said, "Have you met me?" And anyway, I just basically said, "Hey, you know what? If they're harassing your friends, I don't condone that. I don't condone them harassing my husband. People harassing my husband either. It's the same thing. And it's like, and you know, bad behavior is bad behavior. And then they were going to write this big manifesto." And I was basically like, you know what? I got to catch a plane tomorrow because I got to go work a job that's not comics, thank God. And I really don't have time to read this. But hey, agree to disagree, whatever. But they shot and backed off. And I guess this person, I'm not going to say who it was, is not known for backing down, but they backed down on me.
Yeah, she actually did back down. And you know, we've tried to be even keel, but I mean, again, you know, being in comics, like the way things are now is crazy. And
actually, I wouldn't go to the Webtoons site.
Well, yeah, but our site's kind of broken right now. I'm trying to.
Is it broken?
It's hit or miss. Yeah.
If you go to the shadowbinders.com, Webtoon, he restarted it, so there's nothing there really except for a few pages. So don't go to Webtoon.
Yeah, but it's cleaner.
So anyway, I just they left me alone, and then they left me alone after that. But I kind of like I have this way of turning people's words against them. They leave me alone. But
yeah, I don't know.
No, she was not a musical. There's a rumor that the person that's doing the voice of Swiftwind is singing 2 songs for sure, and who knows who else is singing songs. So there's like some songs going to be in there and stuff. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But anyway, we really gotta go. Well, thank you for saying about our son.
Yeah, thank you very much.
He's hilarious, actually. If
Random Jasmine, maybe they're laying in wait. Oh, that sounds ominous. I don't know. I think here's the thing. We're not really a threat because we pretty much like walked away from comics. Because it didn't pay. It just doesn't pay.
No.
Yeah, so we're kind of watching
we do our own thing and don't care.
We are watching from the sidelines with popcorn, you know, and commentary. We're sort of like the Mystery Science Theater of this whole thing. I think we're sort of watching the stupidity from the sidelines. But yeah, we don't work in comics anymore, so whatever. Got better things to do.
Yeah, like which we have to wrap it up because we have to get.
I've got better things to do, so I need.
We have work to do. We have to get
actual work, like actual work that pays actual money.
Now, I believe the makeup YouTube gossip is. I would 100% believe that. 100% believe that.
Yeah.
Our daughter watches some of that. I'd 100% believe that.
All right, we will give Squid King a high five. The kid needs more high fives. He's at that stage where you need high fives every day to feel good about yourself, you know. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching and listening and contributing and the super chats and all of the awesomeness. And just stay cool, you know. It's a crazy.
Trying to stay cool. That's what wishing
I know,
noise
it's very
is.
hot.
If you hear wishing noise, that's me trying to fan myself with cardboard.
It's a very weird world. Just stay normal.
I'm hearing thumping. I think Squid King's getting annoyed.
Squid King is,
or that could be the dog. No, that's the dog, Sir Charles Toasty Butternuts Pendragon III.
That is our dog.
Scratching.
All right. Yeah, we're going to do some more gaming videos. We got to pick a gamer, but he's getting bored of We Happy Few. We got to find another game.
We'll find one.
So we will find some games to play with Squid King because he's really good at games, actually.
He actually is good at games.
So, all right, guys.
All right, guys, we'll see you. Go do work.
See you. Go be awesome.
I actually like musicals, but I just don't think it fits She-Ra. I've been in musicals. I like musicals.
All right. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs. We're inching our way there.
Oh, we have thick skin. They're not crawling under our skin.
No.
Not yet.
No. Super. Well, we did. We actually did some SNES. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll go give Squid King high fives and go back to the real world
He needs to go to bed,
where people are less crazy. So, all right, guys. Good night. Have a good night.